Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We have new information tonight regarding a story out of West Fargo. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
We now know more about a mother of two who was well known in the community, and more about the man who police say shot her twice and then himself.
Now, the two were discovered dead on the lower level of their home just after midnight on Sunday when officers were conducting a welfare check at the request of a friend. We have a package story that we're planning to bring to you. We will do so as soon as it becomes available.
Well, a Crookston native with experience reporting on a deadly outlaw biker shootout in Waco, Texas last month says that biker gang violence is a very real possibility even here in the valley. That shootout between rival gangs at a restaurant in Texas left 9 people dead, 18 others injured last month. A Crookston native and longtime Texas newspaper reporter Tim Madigan got a national scoop on that story for the Washington Post after landing an interview with one of the bikers involved in the shootout.
Basically, they're organized crime on 2 wheels. Yeah. They're into drugs and gun running and God knows what else.
And you can have that anywhere, Fargo or Grand Forks.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if there are drugs or gun running, you're probably going to find, you know, one of these major outlaw biker gangs.
Law enforcement recently announced a gang task force that in part is looking at an existing biker gang and the possibility of the Hells Angels moving into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Now, it started just a little bit ago at 6 o'clock, but tonight you can meet Tim Madigan at a book signing at the Crookston Library. He's also the author of a new novel called Every Common Sight. It's the story of a World War II veteran dealing with post-traumatic stress.
Warmer temps today, but they were masked by strong winds. Let's turn over to meteorologist Lisa Green with a first look at tonight's conditions. Lisa, will that wind be settling down at all?
Not quite, Mike. We've got the wind picking up in advance of our system that's going to be bringing us chances for storms as well. So the wind will be staying with us for the next 24 to 48 hours, and our chances for rain increasing during that time too. Here's a look at the radar. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for the Minot area for some storms that have popped up there, and we're seeing storms here in the valley right along the James River, or west of the James River, stretching down from the Carrington area, just east of Medina, and now a couple of cells popping up in western parts of Lemoore County. So keeping an eye on that. There is some lightning popping up with those storms tonight, and that's just the beginning of it. Temperatures at 73 degrees currently in Fargo and in Grand Forks. And Mike, when I return, we're going to be talking about our chances for some severe weather, especially tomorrow. It looks like we've got some strong storms on the way.
Seems to be the way that we've been living these days.
First day of meteorological summer, and we're definitely feeling summer.
All right, thank you. We now know the names of the 2 people who were killed in a crash over the weekend in Richland County. Investigators tell us that they are 33-year-old Dustin Krause of Wahpeton and 37-year-old Ryan Ginsbach from Lidgerwood. The vehicle that they were in hit the ditch and rolled north of County Road 81 on the South Dakota border. One body was found about a half-mile north of the vehicle and several other hours after the crash. The second was located a mile from the crash. It is unknown who was the driver of the vehicle at the time.
Well, as we told you earlier, we're going to get you more information now tonight about that murder-suicide in West Fargo. Here is Nicole Johnson with much more.
Beautiful inside and out, words that family members use to describe Sharon Connell Rick. A mother of 2, friends say she was her kid's biggest cheerleader. Sharon was recently separated from her husband and the man police say shot her before turning the same gun on himself. Lance Rick was living in Washington State. He came back on Saturday afternoon, friends say, to return Sharon's belongings. A friend was concerned after hearing that Lance was coming to town. She says she only met Lance once, but knew there were issues, saying they had a rocky marriage. Others worried too. On Saturday, a friend tried calling Sharon twice. Each time, no answer, so police were called. The 2 were found dead at this West Fargo home.
Just living in this part of the country, I think it's a natural tendency for us to want to get in there and be helpers, which is the intent is wonderful. But oftentimes, just based on the violence that we see, it's better left to the experts and the authorities.
Watching for red flags is important, according to Chris Johnson with the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center.
Our services are always free and confidential for victims or victims' families or friends to process some of the events that may have happened.
Dealing with grief is something left in the wake of the tragic deaths. At one time, Lance and Sharon both worked at TMI in Fargo. Counselors are on hand to help with people who considered Sharon a part of their family. TMI issued a statement saying Sharon was an impressive talent and an outstanding steward of the TMI family. We are deeply saddened by this tragic loss, and our thoughts and prayers are with her family. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
If you're concerned about someone you know, we have links on our website for resources. Log on to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button.
A Fargo man is behind bars after a high-speed chase with police in West Fargo earlier this morning. Police say they tried to stop 34-year-old Stephen Collins around 1:30 for an equipment violation, but he took off at speeds reaching 80 miles an hour through part of town. He later pulled over and ran from his car. A K-9 team found him a short time later, and Collins was arrested for numerous charges, including reckless endangerment, driving under suspension, and fleeing.
A teenage inmate from the North Dakota Youth Correctional Center in Mandan is back in custody tonight after escaping over the weekend. Mandan police say 17-year-old Malachi Redroad was caught around 11 last night after authorities received a tip. They say he and another boy assaulted 2 guards to make their escape on Saturday. The other boy was taken into custody soon after the escape.
Nearly 10,000 Minnesota state employees received a layoff notice today. The layoff could be in place if a budget deal isn't reached by July 1st. No negotiations were held this weekend, and Governor Mark Dayton said the two sides remain $50 million apart. Dayton dropped his push for universal pre-kindergarten and asked for an additional $150 million in education spending. Republicans haven't shared publicly what their offers are. A special session won't be called until an agreement is made.
Registration for Minnesota's new medical marijuana program began today, but some qualifying patients hope to gain access to the drug are facing another hurdle, that being their doctors. The president-elect of the Minnesota Medical Association says many doctors are afraid of the unknowns of the drug and afraid of violating federal law, so they're refusing to sign necessary papers. Patients can register with the Minnesota Department of Health starting today, but the drug isn't legally available to patients until July 1st. Now, coming up tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, Valley News team's Krista Bain will tell you how this will work for Minnesota residents who have to cross the border into Fargo to see their doctor.
The price for a barrel of oil has been on an upward trend for the past few months. Because of that, oil companies in the Bakken won't be receiving a tax break. May's average price for a barrel of crude averaged $4.38, higher than the price needed to trigger a reduction in the oil extraction tax. If prices had been below $55.09, May could have been the 5th month of continuous low prices.
Our overall tax rate for the rest of the calendar year will remain at 11.5%, but the small incentive trigger has worked pretty well. Since February 1, a number of wells have been completed, and we still have the month of June to benefit from that rate reduction to incent additional drilling by the middle of summer.
The smaller tax exemption, called the small trigger by regulators, is still in effect until the end of June. That tax break kicked in during February and has lowered the extraction tax from 6.5% to 2% on any wells that are fracked and brought online during that time.
Some people in Holly, Minnesota are upset with City Hall and the way a new police chief is being chosen, and they've taken their voice online. A petition is being passed around to name Scott Steer as the Holly police chief. He's the interim chief following the departure of Chief Jimmy Macon. Currently, there are 140 signatures. The goal is to reach 1,000. A post on a Facebook page reads, "Dear City Council of Holly, the citizens really want you to let us be part of this choice. We want Scott Steer for police chief. He's earned it." Now, for more information on this petition effort, there's a link on valleynewslive.com. Just go there and click on the hot button. A Facebook page also has been started called Concerned Citizens for Holly. Meanwhile, the next City Hall meeting is in Holly, June 22nd.
Flashing lights and road closure signs prevented some drivers from traveling down Elm Street in Fargo today. The recent rainfall has caused a bit of flooding in the valley. The Red River was flooded over parts of Elm Street between 14th and 15th Avenue, as you can see there. Water's covering the road in that area. It's not known, though, when it will open back up. And drivers through Fargo-Moorhead on I-94 will be needing to watch out for lane closures over the Red River Bridge today and tomorrow. Crews are finishing maintenance work between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. They'll be working on the right-hand lanes of eastbound and westbound I-94 today, and then the left-hand lanes tomorrow.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, an opportunity to ride for free. Sound good to you? Well, the bus is running between Fargo and Moorhead.
And storms are already firing in the region tonight, including a couple in our viewing area. On the latest on that and what we can expect for tomorrow, coming up right after this.